Yeah, g'day YouTubers. Tinker O'Toole again here with another video. Don't want to open a hornet's nest now, but I'm just going to talk about some of the two-stroke oil. There's lots of oil out there. There's also a standard, a Japanese standard, Jasso, and probably the best oil. It goes FA, FB, FC, FD, FD being the best grade available. So really don't want to go into a lot of details about the standard. Just because your two-stroke oil doesn't have the standard on there doesn't mean that it doesn't exceed the standard. What it means is that you've got to get certification, and a lot of companies may think, well, I'm not paying for certification, so you won't see it actually stamped on your oil. Now, lately there's been a lot of people that don't like the still oil. This is an older one. This is a fully synthetic. This has got Castrol written on it. So, yeah, very, very interesting. So there's a lot of people that don't like the still oil. A lot of negativity. Anyway, that's another story. As Castrol, there used to be an ad on TV, and the guy was called Sol, and he said, "Oils ain't oils." And that's actually quite true. There's a lot of cheaper brands. Here's one from Aldi called Ferrex, fully synthetic. Anyway, I'm going to use this one. This one is from Maxima called Formula K2, fully synthetic. It's got a lot of ester bonds on it, and it's said to be a very high quality. It's a racing two-cycle engine oil. Now, the other thing that's very interesting when we talk about two-stroke oils is the ratio, and why, if you look at Yamaha, a motocross bike, and they're recommending 30 to 1 or 32 to 1, and they're two-stroke racing high revving. Yet in a chainsaw, they recommend 50 to 1. Why is that? Why is it that Yamaha are recommending a 30 to 1? And not a 50 to 1. Well, the other thing is, the less oil that you use, you will definitely get higher performance out of the motor. But having a high ratio of 50 to 1, you get more engine wear. So the motocross bikes that are running 32 to 1, the engines will last a lot longer than if you were running, say, 50 to 1. So it's a bit of a trade-off there. So in a chainsaw, chainsaws running flat out, high RPM, 50 to 1 will give you much higher performance than, say, 30 to 1. So I'm sort of probably opting for about 45 to 1. Just a little bit of extra oil for a little bit extra protection, and maybe a slight little sacrifice of performance. I'd rather sort of be assured that I've got really good maximum performance. Now, this oil here is highly acclaimed all around the world, as well as many, many others out there. So I'm not trying to promote this oil and saying it's the best oil out there on the market. There are many, many others that are just as good. And I guess it's a bit like a car. People have got their favourites for whatever reason. But I've done a bit of research on this. I can't find a Jasso rating on it because obviously the company don't want to pay for the certification. As I said before, not all companies that produce racing oils are going to pay for that certification. Anyway, I know it'll open a bit of a hornet's nest, but there's a lot of, as I said, even Honda have got HP2. You've got film strength in oils, CST, high numbers in your CST. The higher the number, what that means is the tackiness, how good the oil sticks to metal. With that Jasso rating, when you look at there's an A, B and a C and D. If you've got a D rating, that generally means that it smokes less, it offers better protection, more detergents. It goes on and on and on. But unless you've got a scientific background, you're going to be a bit like me. You're going to get on the internet, do a search, or take somebody's other word and say, hey, this is the best oil on the market. But how do you know it is? You would never really know it is unless you were a scientific person, worked in the oil industry, and knew everything about the additives and temperature. But all as I can say that if you do run 50 to 1, you will get slightly more engine wear than if you run, say, 45 to 1. So it's a little bit of a balance and a little bit of a trade-off. So even at 50 to 1, yes, you get excellent engine protection and you get excellent performance. It's just if you put a little bit more oil in there, you'll get even better engine protection and you'll just drop off slightly on performance. Anyway, that's my take on it. If there's anybody out there that works in the oil industry that really does have a bit of scientific knowledge, maybe you could sort of drop something in the comments. The comments are always welcome, but there's no point just saying, hey, this oil's the best, because you've got no proof or evidence because your mate said it was. I don't know how good this is unless you get a scientific report on it. All as I can say, there are a lot of people out there that recommend it. The only other thing that I can say is that there's a lot of people, mechanics, chainsaw mechanics or motorbike mechanics, that will turn around and say, oh, look, if you use this oil here, I pull engines apart and there's less carbon on them, they look cleaner. This is the sort of thing that you hear about. One thing that I will say, the molecular structure of two-stroke oils and detergents and additives do break down under extreme temperature. So that's one thing to consider, that they will break down no matter how good they are. And that's just the way it is. So, yeah, look, I'd be very interested what other people are running and what they've got to say. And I know it's like opening a can of worms when we talk about this subject, but hey, why not?